Parshat Tzav. Blood in the Torah is never neutral. It's either forbidden for consumption or elevated for purification and atonement. It even saves us. "V'amrulach b'damai chayi, v'amrulach b'damai chayi." How can something so prohibited be so holy? We see the blood all over the Torah's most dramatic moments: the blood on the doorposts in Egypt, the blood of Hevel crying out from the ground, the blood on Yosef's torn coat, the blood from a Brit Milah, from a circumcision. And then we get to Vayikra, where we're told the strongest possible language: you shall not eat any blood. Anyone who eats blood shall be completely cut off. So which is it? Is blood dangerous or sacred? Vayikra itself gives us the key. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. Blood is not just a bodily fluid, it's the visible carrier of life. To treat it as just another food is to blur the boundary between consuming meat and consuming life itself. Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, the Ramban, explains that all creatures were created for the sake of the human being, who alone fully recognizes the Creator. At first, humans were allowed only plants for food. But after the flood, animals were permitted, but with one critical limit. Their bodies may serve human need, yet their life, their soul, expressed in the blood, belongs to God. In his words, one being that has a soul is not meant to eat the soul of another, because all souls belong to God. The life of the human and the life of the animal are both God's. Ramad goes further. He notes that the food we eat becomes part of us. If a person takes in the life of the animal in a direct, unprocessed way through its blood, it can coarse and thicken the human soul, pulling it toward the more animal side of existence. Eating blood risks fusing our inner life with a more instinctual, reactive life force. Blood does not require digestion in the same way as other foods. It enters us more directly almost, and therefore affects us more deeply. The Italian commentator, Rabbi Ovadia Saforno, adds another dimension. He writes that the Torah wants to protect Israel from absorbing more animalistic tendencies than we already wrestle with. Since the life, the essence of the creature is in the blood, consuming it intensifies those traits within us. The prohibition is less about biology and more about spiritual psychology. What kind of character are we slowly building through what we take into ourselves? Chizkuni, Rabbi Chizkiyahu ben Manoach, writing in mid-13th century France, focuses on something very practical. Blood, unlike fat or sinews, is easily absorbed by our tissues. Fat can pass through, blood becomes us. That's why, he notes, the warning about blood is repeated so many times. The Torah is deeply concerned with what sinks into us, what literally becomes part of us and therefore shapes our inner life, whether biologically or spiritually. So if we cannot eat blood, what are we supposed to do? We know that we're supposed to draw it out of any food that we eat. And the Torah continues, I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your sins, for it is the blood as life that affects atonement. Ramban says that this is the whole point of the prohibition. Blood is the part given to God, the way a sacrifice becomes a meeting point between human life and divine presence. It's precisely because because blood is life, that it is lifted out of the realm of the dining table and placed in the realm of the altar, the Mizbeach. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, the 19th century German rabbi and thinker, adds a powerful insight. He explains that the sprinkling of the blood in the temple is not a technical detail. It's the heart of the korban. The blood represents the soul of the person bringing the offering. When it's cast on the altar, spread across it, it declares, my life, my energy, my drives, everything that flows in me, I'm dedicating it back to you. For Hirsch, the korban is not a payment. It's a process of our giving our complete being to God. That's why the blood is placed on the entire altar, because the relationship we're building with God must reach every area of our lives. Now we can come back to those earlier stories and see them in a new light. The blood of the lamb on the doorposts in Egypt is not food, it's a sign. It marks a home that's placing its life in God's hands, stepping out of Egyptian culture through an act of courage and trust. That blood is like altar blood on the doorway, a declaration of belonging and protection. The blood of Hevel crying out from the ground is the tragic opposite. It's life violently taken, a soul whose blood never reaches an altar, never becomes offering, but instead soaks the earth and cries out for justice. The Torah's language there echoes our idea that blood equals life. What was spilled was not just fluid, but a human nefesh. And Yosef's coat dipped in blood, their blood is weaponized as a lie, a distortion of life's story. Instead of expressing a soul reaching upward, it becomes a tool to break a father's spirit. In all three scenes, blood is the pivot point where human choices, trust or violence, truth or deception are revealed. So then why is blood forbidden to eat, yet central to purification and atonement? Because blood is too close to the core of life to be treated as fuel. It's designated as God's portion, the medium of kapara, the symbol of our relationship with the divine. Ramban, Seforno, and Chizkuni together paint a picture in which blood is both metaphysical and moral. It carries life, it shapes the soul of the one who ingests it, and it is assigned a different destiny, not to be eaten, but to be raised on the altar. The apparent contradiction dissolves. The very reason blood is so powerful for purification, for covenant, for atonement, is exactly why it's forbidden as food. The Torah does not fear blood. It honors it too much to let us treat it casually. It insists that life is not something you consume. It's something you dedicate. And what does this mean for us? Long after the last korban was brought in most communities, it reframes our relationship with our own lifeblood, our energy, our passion, our drive. The Torah does not say shut them down. It says don't eat them raw. Don't let them run as pure appetite. Instead, bring them to some altar, channel them, direct them, sanctify them. It quietly asks us, where's my blood? Where is my energy going? Is it on the doorposts of a home filled with faith, justice, compassion? Is it soaking the ground in cycles of hurt, jealousy, and violence? Is it staining a coat in stories we tell to hide from our responsibility? Every day, our choices decide how the blood of our time, attention, and passion will speak. Through the lens of these sages, passion itself gets redefined. Passion is not merely intensity, it's intensity offered. When we refuse to consume life, ours or others, as a product, and instead dedicate life as a gift, we transform blood from something that stains into something that sanctifies. Our task is to let the life within us rise, like the blood on the altar, as a statement. This life is not for mindless consumption. It's for connection, covenant, and holiness. I wish you all a peaceful week, one where we can share happiness and joy as a community, and wishing you a Pesach Sameach, a wonderful holiday of freedom for us and the world.